Sometimes, after 9 hours of work, you're still able to prepare some food, clean your room, and go take a bath. While on the weekend, you're procrastinating the simple tasks. Why does it happen like this? Let's find out how many personalities you have and what steals your energy. Where does your laziness come from? Where your energy is stored? How to start listening to yourself and what to listen to, and how to get creative and get things done. My name is Yeva, and here I talk about development, psychology, life, and insights. To find out why it happens like that, we're going to talk about subpersonalities. In psychology, there is no a concept of laziness, only a resistance exists. Resistance is a psychological mechanism of defense, which helps a person to avoid something unnecessary, unpleasant, or something difficult. In a person's subconscious, there are 3 subpersonalities: an inner child, an adult, and a parent. This is where the sense comes from. Let's talk about these personalities, where they come from, and who has the energy. Inner parent. This is your experience from the past. It forms when we observe our parents during childhood. It is responsible for norms, rules, morals, should and must, discipline. It can evaluate, compare, and criticize. The word of an inner parent is black and white. Inner parent can be caring and controlling. The controlling one is who actually criticize you and scold you every time you are doing something wrong. For every mistake, this is your inner controlling parent who is responsible for all those overthinkings and telling that you are stupid. Meanwhile, the nurturing parent is the one who actually takes care of you and supports you in the bad moments. This is the one who actually triggers when you feel that you need some rest or when you need to defend yourself. It actually forms when our parents take care of us. This is why it is supposed to help us in critical moments, support us, and just take care of our needs. The way you were treated in your childhood is going to affect what type of a parent is going to dominate in your personality. If you were criticized, the controlling parent will dominate. If you were supported, the nurturing parent will dominate. Now let's talk about the inner child. Inner child is your own experience from the past, unlike the inner parent, because inner parent actually reflects everything that other people tell us, but the inner child talks about ourselves. Inner child is a part of your subpersonality that is creative, energetic, adventurous, and is responsible for the part I want. Every time you want something or you want to explore the things, this is where your inner child comes in. Your inner child can be natural or adopted. You probably noticed that your inner parent is divided into 2 types. One part is negative, the other one is positive. The same thing happens to your inner child. It can be adoptive or natural. Your inner child is the one who owns a bank of your energy, and it can either release it or suppress it. So if your inner child is treated poorly, energy will not be released and apathy will prevail. So your natural child is the one who gives you energy. But there is also an adoptive child. An adoptive child is formed in your childhood when you actually cannot change something and you are supposed just to accept the situation. Now we talked about inner parent and inner child. Let's talk about your inner adult. Your inner adult is a rational, responsible, and objective part of your conscious. It's like your inner manager who connects your child and a parent. Basically, your responsible adult must reconcile your other subpersonalities. if your inner adult is not developed, there are going to be interpersonal conflicts. When you want to learn a new language, your controlling parent tells you, you're doing nothing, it's time to develop. And you're ready to learn something. But at the same time, your adoptive child doesn't really want to change the situation. He is tired. There is a resistance or laziness, which is actually a delegance of the responsibility not to your adult but to your inner child, and your inner child resists to do something. Your inner child doesn't know how to say no. Instead of that, he avoids tasks. Your inner parent starts criticizing you and telling that you're doing something wrong. Like, there you go, overthinking. You go lying to your bed and you think, okay, I'm doing nothing. But the point is that your adoptive child is still going to continue doing nothing. You don't have enough motivation because probably the goal is not super realistic. Probably it's not your goal, but an imposed one. At this very time, there must be an adult who interferes and starts negotiating. It can tell to your adoptive child that now you're going to study a little bit. It is not so difficult, and if you set some little goals, you're going to achieve it. At the same time, you're going to find a reward which you're going to propose to your inner child. Like that, this is going to work. Because you're going to give yourself a little motivation, you're going to show how the task works, and you start controlling your mind. If the inner adult doesn't show up and doesn't control the situation, your adoptive child will take a control. Then you're controlling parent, and there is going to be an inner conflict. Basically, when your inner adult negotiates and proposes a solution, your inner child is going to give you some energy because he finds the task interesting. He wants to explore something, and then he knows that there is going to be a reward. This is actually why we like learning something when it's just a game, because we are learning with our inner child. Now you understand that the source of your energy is an inner child, and if you don't pay much attention to your needs, it is not going to give you an energy. If you are not rewarding it enough, you are not going to get energy. There is a question: how can you develop your inner adult that is going to connect your subpersonalities? Your inner adult develops when you start taking responsibility and doing all of the psychological tasks. An endless flow of energy is when you have a dominant adult and a dominant natural child. In other words, a responsibility and being spontaneous. This way, your inner child is going to propose the ideas, and your adult is going to find the solution and some rational way to fulfill and develop this idea. As a result, you need to try to learn to listen to your inner child, what it wants and what it needs. As you say, once I finish my study and I pass my exam, I'm going to buy myself an Apple Watch. And the time passes, you finish your exam, and actually you forget, or you say, okay, it's like super expensive, I'll probably buy it next year, or I'll buy it when I do something more important, and you don't give a reward to your inner child. The next time you're going to start doing a task, you're going to motivate yourself with something, your inner child is going to tell no. That doesn't work like this. I remember that actually you lied to me, you lied to yourself, and there was no reward. Because every time we are working for something, we are expecting a compensation or a reward. This is why we have a hormone dopamine. You're not giving yourself a reward, you're not having a rest, you're not doing something pleasant, it is not going to work. then the energy is going to be over. You're going to have a burnout because you're just working, and there is no compensation. And the next thing is try to detect what part of a subpersonality is your dominant one. If you notice that you criticize yourself all the time, that means that you have a controlling parent that takes a control in your subpersonalities. And this is not going to work well because you're going to lack a self-confidence, and every time you're doing something, he's going to demotivate you and criticize. If you feel like you're setting goals but you never fulfill them, you have so many ideas and you're just a great artist, but you're not going to an action, that means that your subpersonality that is dominating is your inner child. It gives you some energy, it gives you some ideas, you're everywhere, but there is no much result because you need your adult, an adult who is going to take responsibility and find some solutions, making plans of what to do and set the goals. So what I suggest is just observing yourself, how you react in different situations. Probably at work, you have a subpersonality of an adult who is taking a lot of different responsibility, who is doing the tasks and manage people. But at home, here comes your inner child that doesn't really want to do a lot of tasks and just start resisting. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again.